Alright, you guys, we are now in crunch time. I would say we're probably about 98% packed up in the house with stuff we're storing and all that. Wouldn't you agree, Steve?
I would agree with that assessment.
So that's a relief, and now we've changed our focus to the van, and we're trying to figure out all that we can fit in here. It's a lot different than doing part-time van life, because it's not like we can really go back home and get what we need, or there's just a lot more for when you're on the road longer. So that's what we're looking at. We're trying to maximize what we put in the cupboards right now and all that fun stuff. It is super hot in Florida right now, so it's not the best time to be doing that, but it is what it is. So here we go.
Heavens to Betsy, it's hot.
So we had stuff pretty much configured how we wanted it since we've been doing this part-time for about 3 years now, but we're trying to just maximize and fit more stuff in. So we're trying to figure out stuff with spices. I think we can actually do a lot of spice up here. And we're figuring too, this doesn't have to be like 100% figured out. Steve and I were just talking that once we get on the road, we can fine-tune more. And maybe when we're back in this area for winter time with our family, we can do a little modification if we need to, right?
Yeah, van life is probably a lot like normal life, where you're always figuring things out, making things work better.
Yeah.
Finding new doilies to...
Steve likes to talk about doilies. I think he personally really likes doilies, so maybe you send him some doilies by airmail.
One of the burning questions we have about van life is how many clothespins do you really need? What's the over-under? 20?
They come in very handy. We use them for lots of things, on food and to keep our curtains closed and to do this to Steve's mouth.
Trust me, if there's anybody's mouth that needs it.
So we basically can fit about 5 regular sized spices in here and then have some room to tuck some stuff beside it. I know a lot of van lifers do those cute little jars that are magnetic or whatever. They go up on the wall. But like, you seriously have like 2 tablespoons of seasoning in there, I think, of spice. And we use a lot of spice, so I want bigger containers. We actually just looked into the holders that have like little plastic grips that you just pop the spice into. We were thinking about mounting it under the shelf and having them up above, but reading reviews, it sounds like those little grips really lose their strength and that stuff would just fall out. So we're going to wait on that and figure that out in the future. Steve, what are you working on now?
Well, Audra had a pretty good idea to use a toothbrush holder thingy.
Little travel holder?
As a mount for our toothbrushes, and just put it on one of our cabinet doors. Like that. So I'm just working on mounting these.
We had them just stuck in here where our kitchen gadgets are and silverware, and I didn't like that. I didn't like that we were reaching in and out and having them together. So
The plan is to put them probably right about here and here.
So hopefully that'll work.
Doink!
Oh, look how cute.
Little buddies.
Oh, they're kissing. You get germs.
Hello. How are you? Oh, I'm fine. My, you're handsome. What? You're beautiful. The rest is behind closed doors.
To save some space in the van, we got some vacuum bags. I don't know how many we're going to use, but I do know we're going to use one here because we're going to suck the air out of our comforter so we can store it until it's cold out and we need it. Let's see how it works. You ready, Ghostbuster?
It's like a reverse shrinky dink.
I thought shrinky dinks get smaller too.
Don't they get
Shrinky dinks get smaller, don't they? That's why they're
Don't they
shrinky
get
dinks.
bigger as you put them in water and they get bigger?
No, shrinky dinks you put in the oven and they
Oh,
get
man.
smaller. But so that's kind of crazy how bumpy it is. Can it be flattened out at all? It definitely works though, huh?
Yep.
There it is, a lot smaller. We folded it in half so it'll fit in this bin over here, hopefully. Right on the top, I think. Voila. Well, we're on to another stage of the preparation. We are now sorting through clothes, figuring out what can fit in the van, what we're going to store with family, and what's got to go.
This is the to-go pile.
And it's getting bigger.
So, what do you think about this? Should I keep it?
I like that shirt.
I like it too. I like Slinky. I'm not sure about the navy blue edges.
The accoutrement. I don't know. It's a fun shirt. I can see why you'd say you're not sure though.
We'll put it on the maybe pile.
Gregory's overseeing the project. I think we're boring her though. Is all that gonna fit in the van?
We'll see.
My
Might
goodness.
have to go through another edit.
He might have more stuff than me. Well, we're counting down. It's now 6 days until we get on the road. So what we've been doing, we showed you, we were sorting through clothes in the house. Now we're bringing those out and we're gonna see what fits. We're gonna put the priority stuff in and see if there's more room to add anything else or not, or maybe we'll have to nix some things that can't fit. So we'll see how things fit in here. We're trying to be creative with how we store things. So I actually took the pillow out of this pillowcase and it's packed with colder weather clothing. Because we're going to be on the road for 2 different seasons before we get back to our families where we have stuff in storage, we basically right now in the van are packing all the stuff for the hot summer months, and then we have to have some stuff on hand for when it's colder. So like I said, we have some stuff in here. We're going to try to use those vacuum bags and put some of those in the garage and just see how we can figure it all out so we have what we need. So here's what I have so far. I have a little bit more space to bring some more things out. We basically had our priority items and then our maybe items, so I'll have to go get more stuff to put in here. Well, I must say, I'm impressed. Steve had that laundry basket overflowing with stuff, and I did not think it was going to fit, but look at that.
Yeah, I would say I got about 95% of what I had in the basket. Just a few things, a few t-shirts that I might just take out and donate. A couple running pants that I might put in storage in the garage or the van. But yeah, this closet holds a surprising amount of stuff.
I'll say. What's that on your face? Are you sweating? It's not hot out here or anything, is it?
It's hot.
Really?
Hey, get back to work. No sleeping on the job.
I'm just trying to figure out which pillow I want in here. This one or this one? It's hard to decide.
The tough decisions of van life.
Yeah, someone's got to do it. Alright, we're doing our next load. Taking our hanging clothes out. Alright, this is some of my stuff. I have a couple more things I'd like to bring. problem with my stuff is it's long, and we're constantly tucking it in, but oh, it's actually fine. Yes. So I was thinking, like, sometimes we tuck this up in, but just leaving it hanging is probably better for the dresses, and then it closes without a problem. Score.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
So, I've learned that with your delicates, your underoos, at first I took them and I rolled them up like that, thinking, oh, this will save some space. But in reality, it didn't. It just chewed up more space. So, lay them flat like that, I was able to store a lot more, create a lot more space.
It's funny because everyone says, like, oh, roll your clothes when you travel. But because you did that, you now have both of your running pants up there, right?
Yep, I was able to get 100% of everything I had in a laundry basket in now, so.
And what have we done with your socks?
The socks, Audra had a creative idea. She was given one of these bags by one of our neighbor friends. So I'm exploring that idea.
She actually gave us 3, and I was going to use it, but I might let Steve use it so his socks don't all fall out every time he opens the door.
Has a nice little handle.
Isn't that so darling?
So might try that, or we also have this bag sitting around in the house. I'll see if I can get all of my socks into here.
And then Audra can get her bag back.
Yep. It's going to be close, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, what if you just put your white socks in there? And you don't even probably have to close it, right? That'll just stop it from falling out, and you can just set it on the shelf.
Look at that.
So your white socks are in there, and then your dark ones, which are debatable you even need.
Right. I probably won't be wearing these too often. Maybe we could just throw them in the closet in the back.
Look at that. Nice. Well, there's 5 days left, and today Steve is giving the van a bath, getting her prettied up for the road. So we're on day 4 today, just 4 days till we have to be done with everything. Yesterday we didn't actually do too much in the van. As I showed you, Steve washed the van and we did some sorting in the house, but I actually got a crown here yesterday and we were busy with work, so that's about all we did with the van. But today we're doing more packing and sorting. This is one of the totes that's going to go back in the garage. It's a 27-gallon, and this is what's in here. We have our bug screen that's packed up in bubble-wrapped envelope to protect that. We have some silly things in case we have any fun events. A bag for carrying our power unit if we need to. And then we basically have 2 bags that we have vacuum sealed of winter clothes. Underneath that, the comforter for when the temps are colder. We have another little blanket that's actually an electric blanket that can be charged with the van. And then I have some boots and warm socks. And next, I'm going to put some warm weather hats and gloves in here too. Alright, and that's that. Hopefully this will fit on there.
Alright, so we've come to the point now where we're going to start packing things into the garage. Bit of a Tetris game. We'll see what fits, what doesn't.
So let's start with our bin that we just packed up. Alright, so this bin has my kayak at the bottom right now. We also have a hammock, a towel for some reason, Oh, and our tubes and our paddle ball stuff. We got some dark clouds rolling in. So here it is all packed up. So I'm going to attempt to tell you everything that's in here. First of all, up here on this ledge, we have the screen that goes in our opening up here. Gotta have some fun things too. So I have my giant bubble maker, and down below some bubbles. We have some components that go to our bug screen that we can put on the slider door, and that's packed into a bin. Above here, tucked up above, we have the pieces of wood for leveling. In the back bin, we have the winter clothes, the comforter, I think our winter hats and stuff. In this bin, we have the kayak, the paddles for paddleball, the snorkeling stuff, a hammock. Oh, and our little tent thing, awning thing. What do you call that? That we can put up.
Little shade.
Yeah, like it's like a little triangle thing that we can use with magnets and give us some shade if we need it. I think that's everything that's in there. We've got our 2 beach chairs that hopefully we'll replace at some point. An extension cord, basketball for Steve, an extra water jug, and then we use these water jugs for our good drinking water, so one fits here. Bocce ball, a toolbox, an extra fan that I don't think we're going to need to keep, but we have for now in case we need to cool off our Delta. Oh my gosh, it's getting windy. Our bikes, what's in here? Ratchet straps, jumper cables, and then another little toolbox, a cardboard box that's got tools in it. A little shovel in case we have to do some pooping in nature. We've got our beach umbrella. We've got our mountain pie makers and s'more sticks, I think, right? And we have tennis rackets, a caulk gun, work gloves. We have our little cutters. What else is in here?
I think you got it all.
I mentioned the collapsible bucket that's in the back. And then we have a few things over here. Our extension cord, and then a few random things, and our jack. I think we did pretty well. Oh, and our kite. Can't forget our kites.
So it's quite a bit of stuff and a little bit of a garage, huh?
Alright, you guys, we have 3 days left. It is hot this morning, so it's not very fun working in the van, but we got to do it. We're putting some last minute stuff in, trying to figure out some last minute organization. Steve's trying to figure out some stuff down in our cat litter area. We've been trying to find something to hang on the back side of the door that could store some stuff. So far we haven't found anything, so we're trying to innovate this morning. And we are feeling the stress. On top of everything else, I mentioned the other day I had a crown. It's actually an implant that I've had in process for like 1.5 years. And the crown, the tooth, whatever you call it, is not fitting right. And I don't know if you can tell. It's actually swollen and I've got pain, so I have to go back to the dentist again today. So it's a little stressful, but we're going to get through it. And it'll be payoff when we're on the road. I just put a few more things in my cabinet. You can see it's pretty full. There's a lot of clothes in there. Alright, now we gotta work on the kitchen area in our big closet. Alright. So last night we figured out what would fit in these little cubbies here. I divvied up everything into separate bags, and I'm gonna see how that all works now. And then up here, we have actually recently just switched to all Turkish towels for our beach and bathing because they take up so much space and dry a lot faster. I have my toolbox here, which is for my crafty stuff. It'll be interesting to see if I use that on the road, but we wanted to at least try. We have a bag for carrying stuff. As you can see, we've got our fire extinguisher, some extra toilet paper, more toothpaste, which maybe doesn't need to be there, a hot water bottle. We thought maybe if it's cold, we could use that to boil water, put in to keep us warm in bed, or if we've got any discomforts. What will go here is my toiletry bag and Steve's toiletry bag. We've got our clothes, and then we've got our cooker, And then our little 12-volt vacuum and our laptops and our laundry go down there. And I just need to put the rest of the clothes back in the cupboard. And everything fits. Just have to make sure his belt is tucked in and my stuff there. And then we can close it. Voila. So Steve's inside. We're going to do another one of these little shoe rack things on the cupboard door inside where the cat litter is, so that'll give us some more space for some miscellaneous storage. He's actually putting some, I think, paint sticks at the top on both sides, so it gives us something to secure it and to attach it to the cupboard door. While he's doing that, I'm working on some of the kitchen stuff. Starting to pack up the kitchen, starting to put some food in here. We got our dishes, and all of our spices are going to go right up here. And I am a sweaty mess. It's time to get back inside and take a little break, cool off a little bit. Alright, and since yesterday, we forgot we have 2 backpacks that needed to go in here. So that's where they are now. Alright, you guys, the pressure's on. You know what time it is?
I have no idea.
I think it's
I
maybe...
think today's Friday. It's about as much as I know.
I'm pretty sure it's Friday. I'm going to guess it's around 2 o'clock. We have dinner with our neighbors today, like at 6:30, so we have a few hours here that we're just trying to get everything done. So now, like we mentioned, trying to do a little holder on the inside of the door where our cat litter and Delta EcoFlow power unit is. So Steve's gonna work on installing that. We basically just took the one row of the, the shoe organizer. And we used paint sticks to glue on either side to give it some support, and then we're going to attach that. Give us a little more extra storage space. And I'm going to load some spices into the cupboard now. Ooh, it is a hot one today. We are so hot and sweaty. And packing up the van is pretty much like a science. A little Tetris game, if you will. So, while we were in the house, we tried to figure out what would work here. And we tried to group stuff together, kind of by the type of use. We've got some sugar stuff, salt and pepper, and it might be a challenge to fit some of it. Maybe you can just kind of stack it like that, but this should fit. It's kind of crazy. When we built the van out, we did not plan around any of these containers, but it's amazing how well things fit. Like this. There's just enough room for 4, and there are so many other things, like our baskets that we use under the sink, that we put our pots and pans in, the baskets that fit in my cabinet for my clothes. It's like perfect. We couldn't have planned it better if we tried. So that just worked out really well. We definitely use a lot of spice when we cook. So, kind of like having all this space for spice. It might be overkill. I guess we'll find out. Look at that. It fits like a glove. So look at all that spice. So we can make spicy meatballs. So we're going to keep at it here. We got all kinds of little things all around. We're going to do all the last minute figuring, finding homes for all those random things, or not if they don't fit. So we'll keep figuring it out, and I'll give you an update later. Alright you guys, a little update. It's almost 6:15. We just signed our side of all of our closing documents for our house, so it's feeling real, finally. It's pretty exciting. So we're actually taking the papers to FedEx, and then our buyers on Monday sign on their end. We'll be on the road, so hopefully everything goes through okay. And we'll be doing full-time van life. Almost there. Alright, let's do this.
All right. That piece of business is done.
Woohoo!
Feels good.
Woo! town continues. It's Saturday around 3:30. We have had a stressful day, so we didn't have time to do any filming. We have been last minute sorting and packing. The van's full of our, well, not full. We're taking some stuff to the thrift store and our final load over to our family's place. Oh, it's been crazy, but it's starting to feel exciting, don't you think?
Yep.
It's starting to feel a little more real. So anyway, I guess that's about it. We're gonna go hang out with friends, our family. It's actually Steve's birthday today. So we're gonna celebrate with family and then get back home and do some more last minute stuff. And then tomorrow is the walkthrough in our house with the buyers. What else do we have to do tomorrow? Just hopefully not much.
Yeah, hopefully we've done 99.5% of the heavy lifting.
Yeah, just some loose ends. And then we'll be showing you Monday morning, loading up our food in the cat and getting in the van. So some of this stuff we have to figure out when we get there to see what will fit and what makes sense to actually keep there. Got a few little things to figure out, like for the cat, if we're ever going to stay inside when we're there with family or if we're just going to stay in the van all the time. So lots of things to think about. So here's the closet where we've got our stuff. I think we've actually done pretty well because this isn't even all ours. Some of this is some of our family's stuff also. And we've got our furniture in here. Compliments of our family letting us store all this.
Birthday to you. Woo! Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Steve. Happy birthday to you. Hey!
Thank you.
Well, good morning, you guys.
Good morning.
It is Sunday, almost noon. Things have not been going as planned. We've got a lot going on. So I have mentioned my tooth a little bit, I think, over the course of the last couple of days. I have had complications with it, ongoing pain, and I'm thankful that I have an awesome dentist. I texted him this morning to let him know that there was still some pain, and he met me at his office on a Sunday morning. He took my crown out, so I don't know if you can see this, but no pretty tooth there. But I have a post that's going to allow it to heal. It was really irritated, and we're going to try it again when we're back in Florida in the winter. So that was a huge relief. And an answer to prayer, because we were kind of concerned. We thought for sure, well, not for sure, but we thought we might have to postpone leaving, and that would complicate some things. So we're really relieved to have that taken care of, and I'm feeling so much better already. And now, also, we thought yesterday would be our last trip to our families for storage, but we decided at the last minute to not take my computer and our internet stuff, like our Wi-Fi and modem. We just didn't want to be too rushed with that and wanted to have time last night and this morning to finish up some things. So now we're taking that last load, taking our computer stuff over and putting that in storage. And then today will be kind of crazy, just tying up loose ends. It's amazing how much stuff is still around the house, even though we've sorted through so much. But it's just things we have to kind of fit into the van, and then things that don't fit go in the trash. So, yeah, and I think we mentioned already we have the walkthrough with the buyers. We're going to take some of our bikes over to a neighbor's house, and so crazy stuff like that, just all loose ends, and we'll see how we survive the day. But it's getting exciting. Alright, so this is us here. This is what we're leaving behind, plus just a couple boxes and some tools in the shed. Now it's like a Tetris puzzle again. I'm trying to fit everything in, but I think we've done pretty well. Don't you think? Going from a house to this and a van. Now when we're in Florida and Steve's bad, we can send him to the closet and he can watch TV.
I spent a lot of my time in here.
Well, let's call it Steve's closet. It's a pretty nice sized closet though. Maybe it's bigger than our van.
Might be close.
But that'd be interesting.
Sure.
Maybe we'll find out how this does compare to our van.
56 inches by 132 inches.
What is that in feet?
I think it's 11 feet by roughly.
So, that is essentially similar to the space in our van, right? That's pretty funny.
Right. Square footage. Yeah.
So essentially, it's like we have 2 vans of storage, 2 vans of stuff, right? Kind of. Oh, you're much better. That's a nice little haul. Bunch of mangoes. Nicely done. All right, you guys, another update. It's about 4:30. We've been in the house cleaning and sorting, last minute stuff, selling some things at the last minute. And now I'm here doing some last minute stuff, as you can see. A little bit of stuff around that needs to be organized. Steve's inside cleaning, and I'm trying to find a home for everything that we need to put in here. I'm sure some things we'll have to figure out once we get on the road. There's just a lot of last minute stuff, even that we've been planning for weeks, and we thought we had plenty of time. It's amazing the last minute stuff that ends up being around, the last minute stuff that you didn't know was still in drawers even though you'd looked. Just, I don't know, it seems like it multiplies. It's like Murphy's Law. Anyway, crazy. And by the way, my tooth is a lot better now. I'm happy about that. This week we've been trying to use up all of our food in the kitchen. So there's just a little bit left that is going to go in the cabinets here. I think we have a little bit more than what's there. Uh-oh. Van life casualty. Just a container. Anyway, starting to put the food in. Tomorrow morning we'll pack the rest of the food. And this, like I said, it's just a bunch of miscellaneous crap right now. Some of which we will not probably need. But we wanted to wait till we were in the van to figure it out. So yesterday, we just double checked, went through all of our like Tupperware kind of containers, storage containers, to see what would actually fit the best in here. And I think we've got it figured out. We try to do things so, you know, we're kind of conserving space. We tried to get stuff that would all stack inside the pans and inside each other, fit in the freezer well because of the space, fit in the fridge well, and then up with our dishes. So I think we're figuring it out.
All right, it's shortly after 9 p.m. Sunday evening. I think we have checked off most of the things that need to get done today. And we are spent. It's been quite a few challenging days.
Yeah. Feels like we've been through a battle almost. It's been a doozy.
Yep.
So
But we made it.
Yep, almost. We're almost to the finish line. Our last night in our own bed in our house. It's kind of a crazy feeling. So tomorrow we'll get up. We have some things to finish up yet and get on the road as soon as we can. Great Grace last night in her house on her cat tree that she loves. What are you doing, Miss Lady Gray? What do you think about it all? What do you think about it, huh? What do you think?